Okay, today I'm going to talk about the rules of the NHL. So, for me, I've never personally played organized hockey, but as a child, I was always intrigued by the sport. And until later years, I was very much consumed by the NHL, which has obviously began to fall apart. So, for those of you who've never played hockey, do you ever watch the sport? If you haven't watched the sport, have you at least some of the popular hockey movies that have came out in the last 20 years? Miracle on Ice, the story of the 1980 Olympic team, and the Mighty Ducks movies are all very popular. So, hockey is a sport derived from many of the ancient stick and ball games, very comparable to lacrosse or field hockey. And it wasn't until the late 1700s that evidence of the game being played on states came about. While the game's origins can be granted to many countries, its most popular origins are probably going to be in Russia and Canada, being as that's where the most ice is. And true to this day that professional hockey is a whole different game than it was when it was started in Canada or Russia or Sweden or around the world. So in 1876, the first game played under new actual organized rules happened, and obviously it was played in Montreal, Canada, because that's just what makes sense. So by the early 20th century, professional hockey had finally made its debut into the world. In 1902, the Western Pennsylvania Hockey League was formed and was the first league to pay professional hockey players to play a game. And by 1904, the league had joined with some other teams from neighboring states to form the International Professional Hockey League, which got most of its players from Canada and not from the USA because of the fact that more people in Canada played hockey. So Canada began to play their amateur hockey players to play hockey, which in turn caused problems for the International Professional Hockey League. So in 1907, after being cut off from its largest source of players, the IPHL disbanded, which caused many smaller hockey leagues to begin throughout Canada and the Pacific Northwest and the eastern northwest of the United States, none of them doing very much. And then finally in 1910, the National Hockey League was formed. Well, the National Hockey Association was formed in Montreal. After reorganizing in 1917, they finally became the NHL that we know today. The league expanded into the United States after beginning in Canada, obviously again in Montreal. And the first team to be in the United States was the Boston Bruins in 1924. So now that we know a little bit about the NHL's history, we can talk about the rules. Hockey is a game played with a vulcanized puck with sticks. You play it on a rink, similar to a soccer stadium, much smaller though, and round, and there's walls and there's ice. During normal play, there is 6 players per side, 2 of which being a goalie. You got 2 wingers, a center, and 2 defensemen. The object of the game is to use your sticks to pass the vulcanized rubber up the ice and eventually put the disc in the net, the puck. So as simple as the game it may be, it's pretty hard. It's a 60-minute game broken into 3 20-minute periods. It's rather easy. It's easy to explain. It's not easy to play. They start at the middle of the ice, a player from each team facing each other, the other 4 players of the team behind their teammate, where they then drop the puck by the ref drops the puck, they fight for the puck with their sticks, and then it's game on. The wingers normally go up the sides and they normally do box. Their formations are normally boxy, and they go around and pass the puck in their formations, and they get the puck in the goal. Normally, the best players on the team are the ones that can handle the puck and also shoot, and most people call them snipers. And another player on the team is a goon. And the goons are the people that know how to throw their body around and aren't afraid to throw their body around and get some penalties when needed, and that's what happens. So when it comes to penalties, when someone commits a minor penalty, a hooking where they hook someone with their stick, or a tripping where they trip someone with their stick. Checking is when you put someone's face into the boards, and there's many minor penalties. And normally for a minor penalty, someone gets a 2-minute penalty where their team is penalized and they have to sit in the box for 2 minutes. And then there's a major penalty where someone is taken off the ice, they're thrown out of the game, and they get 5-minute major penalty that someone on their team has to serve. And unlike a minor penalty, a major penalty, if a goal is scored during a major penalty, the penalty keeps going. In a minor penalty, the penalty does not keep going. So that's my take on the NHL.